Hello everyone, welcome back to Cove Media. I'm glad you're here. Whether you're here to watch, learn, or you just need to decompress for a little bit, we're going to have a good time today. So, the last few lessons we have set up some game states. We first started out with our start title screen, our play space, and our game over. Last lesson, we added a pause menu, whether just again trying to add features you would expect in a game. And so today we're going to be expanding on our feature set. So we're going to be adding difficulty levels to our AI. And so that's going to require us to change how our title screen looks and allow for the user to select what difficulty they want to play against. So let's get right into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to check, well, we're going to run our code, make sure it's working like it's supposed to. No changes have been made since last time we met, so okay. And there we go. I'll let the AI score on me real quick. Alrighty. Our pause screen works. Resume button works. Quit button works. Awesome. So we're ready to go and make our changes. So one thing that's going to happen, this AI speed is going to get replaced so that we can change the speed in the game, but we're going to leave that right now. We'll come back to it. First thing, we're going to be adding two new constant variables. So first thing we're actually going to do, we're going to change this from game variables to game constants. That's because we're going to be adding that. We're going to need that. We're going to be calling another group in our main game variables. So the first of the two variables we're adding here, first one's called difficulties. And this is going to be an array. If you're not that familiar with computer terminology, arrays allow us to take, in this case, one variable and give it multiple values. Not going to be a very big one. So we're going to give it the values of 3, 5, and 8. And that will be the speed for our AI. So 5, which is going to be our medium, has been the speed we've been working with. And next, we're going to be creating a variable called difficulty names. And this is what we're going to be using we're going to be displaying these to the user, and the user is going to select them, and they correspond with difficulties. So we're going to call it easy, medium, and hard. So if you wanted to come back and add more difficulties, you can. You just need to make sure that the order of the names matches the number order. All right. So next thing, we're just going to scroll down a little bit. So here in this group of variables, this is why I changed the name. We're going to call these our game variables. We're going to be adding one variable here, and this is going to be our selected difficulty. So this will be the default. We're going to set it to 1, which will actually be medium. And for those who aren't as familiar with arrays, the way arrays work, the first value is actually 0. So it goes 0, 1, 2, and it just keeps going up from there. Same thing. So this is 0, 1, 2. So our default is 1, is going to be sitting there. So now we're going to come down, and most of our work today is going to be here. So this won't be changed. Well, this will change a little bit, but most of what we're doing is going to be just adding to our start state, our title screen. The first thing we're going to do, because I don't want to forget to do it, is this text is going to change. We're going to say use, and so we're going to be using the A key and the D key for the player to choose. It's going to be, so A is to go move left, D is to move right. press enter to select. All right. Now, a couple things we got to change. In our title and our prompt, we just have to change that to a 4, that value to a 4, and this value to a 4. And that's just due to this being a different size. And I'm actually getting ahead of myself. We need to scroll back up because we're going to be adding a new font. And this is going to be called our menu font. Because the text we just entered will actually be too long otherwise. Also, the difficulty selection will be making use of this new font size. I believe it is 48. And it is. Okay. Okay. Now we're going. This is good. We can actually check it real quick. Actually, oh, right here, the prompt. We're just going to change that. We're just going to run the code real quick, make sure everything's working right. Yep, it's a little cut off, admittedly, but it'll be fine for now. I'm not going to stress too much about that. All right. Okay. So now we're going to come to the end of this first block of code in our title screen and our start state. And these next 7 lines of code is just for us to properly display easy, medium, and hard to the screen. So first we're going to create a variable called spacing, give it a value of 80, and we're going to, I couldn't really come up with a fancy word for this, and this is just a lot faster. We're just going to call this variable x. I try not to do that as much as possible, but we're going to do it here. So width 2, and a lot of this was just testing to figure out and make sure everything was worked and looked how we wanted it to. I'm going to get through this and then I'll go into deeper detail, at least try to explain what's going on here. I lost, oh, there I am. Okay. No, we're gonna go through all of this, then I'll do my best to explain what's going on in the code for everyone. Oh, I accidentally clicked the side of the screen. I am sorry. There we go. For I name and enumerate and I forgot to do a couple things, and I'm sorry. So another constant we have to add is another color. It's going to be another text color, and we're just going to call it not selected. And it's going to be a gray, so 128, 128, and 128. And so what we're doing here is you're going to have easy, medium, hard. If the text that is selected, the difficulty that is selected, we're going to be highlighted, so it will be white. The text that is not selected will be gray, just to give a distinction for the user so they know which one they're on. So we're going to create a variable called color, and it's going to equal our text color if it's the selected one. So if it's our selected difficulty, else not selected. So So at this point, we're just telling it if it's our selected difficulty, we want it our text color, which is white. Otherwise, it's going to be gray. Text equals our menu font dot render. And this is another nice thing about doing the array is we can loop through them and just post them to our screen. And I apologize if y'all are hearing anything in the background. Me and my wife have 3 dogs and they are playing right now. But they're wonderful. They are bestest of boys and girls. .blit text comma x height and then x. So this last part's very important because so again, you know what, I keep getting ahead of myself and I'm sorry everyone. Let me finish this out and then I'll explain it. Sorry, I like to get ahead of myself a lot. Okay, so all this is going to do, and I'll show in a second, all this does is set up and performs what we need to display our text, display the easy, medium, hard text to the user. And also highlight them so the user can see what they're clicking. So this is explicitly just doing some setup for that. So this is actually the initial setup. This gives us the initial space before easy. And then we are looping through each time, and X increases so that medium and hard are placed and spaced correctly so everything looks neat and looks nice. This is a lot of this is I had to just go through trial and error to work it out. And so so what this is doing, so for however many difficulties we have in difficulty names, it is looping through it to write it to the screen, and it's performing all of these per loop. So we'll see that here in just a second. There we go. As you can see, so here, title, telling the player what to do, and then we have easy, medium, hard. Medium is highlighted because it's the default, it's selected, can't do anything else. So now we have to make it so the user can actually select the difficulty. A couple spaces. So not a whole lot going to go on here. So keys, standard stuff, pygame dot k underscore a, selected difficulty equals our selected difficulty minus 1. But we're going to add something here, length difficulties. And so what this little bit at the end does is, so we hit A, it's going to decrease, go back to the left in our array, down to 0. Well, and this here makes sure we don't go past 0. It's looking at the length of our array and saying, hey, there's nothing, you can't go any further, so it will keep us from going below 0. And here we're going to add a slight delay. Wait. And this value's in milliseconds. All right. elif, this is going to be exact same thing, just in the positive direction. D, and then selected difficulty. Oh, oop. Oh. I messed something up. Oh, I did. It's not there anymore. Not sure what I did there, but. Okay. And then same thing here, our length diff. And this is going to make sure that we don't go past, in this case, hard, or this will be the hardest difficulty. We don't go above it. And same thing here, we're going to just add that delay. Then last, do our elif. So this is going to remain the same, except we are adding a variable, and we're going to call it AI speed, all lowercase this time because it is not a constant. And what we're going to do, actually, I'm going to scroll down. So we have our AI speed. We're going to scroll down to our AI paddle movement. We're going to change this constant AI speed to our variable AI speed. There we go. We're going to scroll up. You can delete this. You can comment it out. I'm just going to comment, which is a little hash or pound symbol. And now we should be good to test our code. All right. Yep. Hit A. And so if you keep hitting A, it's just going to loop through. Same thing with D. And that's why we have that length. Is that the code is, as the code runs, the program sees that, and it's just going to loop back through the array. So we'll never go actually past the values that we have. So we're going to check easy. And as you can see, easy is easy. That poor paddle, it can't keep up. It's not going to take very long for us to score on it. There we go. And a space restart. Medium is our bog standard, how we've been playing this game. I'm actually just going to let it score on me. Oh, well, I say that. And there we go. And now our hard. I will say, when I was originally doing my testing or working on this, I did not have the ball acceleration in there, and it was actually impossible to beat it because the paddle just moves faster than the ball, and there's no way to get past that. But with the ball acceleration, you can actually beat it. It's just difficult because it takes a good bit for the ball to move up the speed, and by that point, it's hard for you to keep up with it. I'm just going to see if I can't score on it at least once. Oh. There we go. You can beat it. And there we go. We have a difficulty selection. Our game is coming along nicely. And there's still a few more things to add, but it's looking good. I thank you guys for stopping by today. I hope you learned something. I hope you found something enjoyable. I hope I was just able to help you decompress for a little bit. I hope all of you have a wonderful week, and see you next time.